Hi and welcome to another Takeaway challenge. Now today's challenge is all about stop motion animation, and what we'd like you to do today is to make an animation that explains a scientific process. So the two examples I've got are the water cycle and the digestive system, although you could do your own examples. Now to do this you'll need a free app which you can get for Android or you can get for an iPhone or an iPad, which is called Stop Motion Studio. There's a free version and a paid version. We're going to be using the free version. If you want to do this on a PC, you will need a separate webcam, and there'll be a link in the description below which shows the piece of software that we recommend if you're using a PC or actually if you're using a Chromebook. So let's have a look at some examples and we'll show you how you can make your own animation. In this first example, I've used the digestive system as the topic for my animation, and I've used plasticine and a paper background that I've drawn on with coloured pencils. Now I'll play you a second example that I've done about the water cycle, and I've included some narration with this as well. This is how the water cycle works. Water evaporates in the heat of the sun. This stage is called evaporation. Droplets of water form into clouds. The droplets get bigger and bigger, and this is called condensation. The water falls as rain, snow, hail or sleet, and this is called precipitation. The water evaporates and the cycle starts again. The first thing that I did was draw a background, just on plain paper. Next, I drew and cut out all the pieces that I will need to appear and disappear during the animation. I placed an iPad on a table and my background on a chair. I moved the iPad up and down with books so that I could just get the right amount of the picture in the frame. This is the free version of the Stop Motion Studio app. So I'm just going to go New Movie, and all this is pretty straightforward when you look at it. So what I've got here is, if I just move this camera back, you'll see I've got a table and I've got a book on there, and I've put my background there, and I just move this around so that I get in the bit that I want. Then I've got to look at the camera and make sure I put the thing that I want in the shot in the right place, and then I very simply tap this button here, the red button, to take a shot, and then I can put all my sun rays around my sun and do my next shot. And then I can just move things around, move things across to take my shots. I'm just rushing this a little bit at the minute so that I'm not taking up too much of your time. You'll notice that I've got that off the top though, because the mistake I've made there is I'm looking at the paper and I'm not looking through the camera to see exactly what the final shot will look like. And then I just tap it there. It's worth taking more pictures than you would actually think that you would need. And there are a few tips and tricks that I'd like to show you. Tip number one, sometimes you might want to delete a shot. Sometimes you take a shot and you put a finger in, leave a finger in the frame by accident, or you do something that you don't want. Very simply tap on the clip that you don't want and then just tap delete. Tip number two, you might want to include some narration with your animation, and if that's the case you need to make sure your animation is long enough so that you can talk over it. So as you record, practice talking over it. If it's still not long enough, you can always tap this cog and change the animation speed. So at the moment I've got 4 frames per second, so I can drop that down to 3 frames per second if I want to make the animation last longer and for it to run a little bit more slowly. So I would just tap done, and then that would slow the whole animation down. Tip number 3. Instead of lifting the sun rays on and off and on and off, I can just copy a frame with the sun rays on and then paste it after one with the sun rays off, and just copy and paste them alternately. If I want a much longer sequence of the sun flashing on and off or any other kind of animation, I can tap on the last clip and then tap select, slide it forward till I get all the clips that I want, and then tap copy. Then I can go to the end and paste all that at the end, and then I'll have that sit double the length of that sequence, all done really easily for me. So to record your narration, you just move along to the part of the animation where you want to actually record your voice. You press the arrow and then you can record your narration there. So you press the record button and then that will turn into a stop button. So you press stop when you're finished, you press done, and it adds your narration to your slide. And then you keep doing that for all the different parts of your narration. So when you've finished, what you'll need to do is export your video. So if you tap this arrow on the bottom left and then go to select, tap on your video and then go to the share button, which looks like a square with an upwards arrow, and then you go to export movie, and then that will save your movie to your camera roll. Okay, so hopefully that's given you some ideas of the animation that you could do, and we'd love to see any of your animations, so have a look at our social media links to Facebook and Twitter in the description below, and we'll see you next time for another Takeaway Challenge.
Click here for more Takeaway Challenge Shirky Flats mystery videos. Click here for other videos in our Takeaway Challenge series, and click here to subscribe to our channel for access to all our content.